Alrighty, guys. All right, let's wait for a few people to pop in here. Welcome back. If you guys are new here, this is the Blender 3D live stream with CG Cookie. I'm Kenny Phases. Welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be going over pretty much whatever we want in Blender. Go ahead and drop a comment. Let us know what you want to cover today. This will be kind of a free-for-all. It'll be a live question and answer, as well as just us creating pretty much whatever we want to in Blender within a, current skill set that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and put up some topics on the screen here, and then you guys can pretty much let me know what you want covered. Let me go ahead and do that right now. All right, awesome. Looks like we got a few people in the chat so far. Awesome, guys. Good to see you. Let's go ahead and add a text box in here. So I'm going to kind of go over a couple things that we can kind of go over today. So let's go ahead and do geometry nodes. Hold up. Can't see what I'm typing. Geometry nodes. We could do modeling. We could do, a shader setup. We could potentially do physics. Or we could kind of work on making a product. These are all kind of things that I sort of specialize in, more or less. I'm going to go ahead and rotate that so we can look at the shoe as well and kind of talk about that. So this shoe is something we worked on last time. It is more or less fully textured. I'll show you guys. I mean, kind of. There was a few procedural things that we did for this shoe. I think this was based on a reference photo that I had, but it ended up being pretty cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you want to see today, and if not, we will just kind of go ahead and do a free-for-all here. Got my coffee, I got Blender open, and we are ready to go. Let me just go ahead and adjust this real quick. Perfect. All right, that's a little bit better. Hopefully you guys can see that. Why is it not letting me grab that? There we go. All right, we should be good to go. All right, guys. Here we go. All right, let's open up a brand new file. So I guess one of the things we can go over, since there's no suggestions, is we can go ahead and make either a product or we can make something with geometry nodes. Those are kind of the things that I've been specializing in lately. I'll show you a recent project we were just working on in the last live stream here. Go to my downloads folder here. We were working on, someone requested a tail. So we were working on a procedural tail, which is pretty interesting. Normally, I don't do things with characters, but you can kind of see we were able to make this really interesting procedural tail. Let's go ahead and go into rendered view here, and you can kind of see it has this nice back glow and everything like that. It's quite interesting. It was a fun thing to kind of create and build, and I think we learned a lot procedurally speaking. But today, again, we can pretty much do whatever it is that you guys want to do. So I think maybe what we'll do is maybe find something to model. That's always fun. I think that is a great challenge usually, is finding either a product to model or something new to kind of challenge our skills in Blender. Again, like I said, we've got a lot of fun projects we worked on. We worked on this watch last time. We worked on a lot of procedural setups. We had this kind of sprite can. This was a fun one. Let's see if the textures are still loaded up in this one right here. Let's see here. And oh yeah, so this one was fun. So another cool thing about this one is that we kind of put these procedural droplets on the sprite can, which was really fun. So there's a lot of stuff we can do with that. Again, this is all geometry nodes, which is really awesome as well. Hi and good day. Suggestion: a plane, the Beechcraft Starship. Beechcraft Starship. Let's look it up. Beechcraft Starship. Oh wow. This one right here. That is that a real plane? That is the most wild looking plane I've ever seen. Wow, look at that thing. I've never seen anything like that ever. That is so cool. It could definitely be a modeling challenge for sure. I've never ever seen this plane in my life. It's a cool looking plane though, I will tell you that. There's quite a few things I can imagine doing for this plane in terms of how to set this up. Is it a propeller? Wow, it's a dual propeller. I've never ever seen this plane. What in the world? It's are these functional up here? I've never ever seen a plane like this in my life. Wow. I mean, it's a really cool looking plane. It almost doesn't even look. Is this a real plane? I've never seen this plane in my life. Hey, Kenny, last time I messaged you, I was doing some mesh modeling. Now I'm in the physics course, particularly dynamic paint. Love your projects. Thank you very much for making them. Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the course. I'm very happy that you're enjoying it. That's awesome. Legend, Legend is back. Greetings. I'm learning your human project course. That's fantastic. Happy to hear it. It's an A-plane, which was released in the early 70s. All right, well, let me see if I can find a blueprint on this. Yeah, let's see if we can find a nice little blueprint. Oh, perfect. All right, this is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. Something where we have the angles here. I think that looks good. Let's go with this one right here. It's deceiving because you can see from this angle it looks shorter, but it is actually it's a wild shape. You know what? Let's see if we can model it. I mean, why not? This is what we're here to do, right? Let's just call it plane, whatever we want. Let's go ahead and open up a brand new project. I am going to delete everything and save this real quick as plane modeling practice. Okay, and we're going to add in our reference image, which we have to scroll pretty far down to get. There it is right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and rotate it. Actually, no, I want to keep it flat, and then what we'll do is I will duplicate this, and I'll rotate it here, and we'll do something like this. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, the goal is to kind of get this like cross section here, if you will. The reason we do this is so that like everything's like lined up properly. And then, all right, so we'll do this one more time, again, like this, right? I'm going to just assume we'll just make it so that the wheels are like basically touching the floor here. We'll do the same over here. So now we know that the wheels are supposed to be touching the floor. Perfect. And it should look something like this. This is really exactly what we want. So when I set things up, I usually do it like this because now I know like, okay, I have every angle of everything I need. Then I'll go over into my settings for my opacity. I'll just do like, I don't know, 0.4, 0.3, something like that. We'll just do 0.4 for each one of these. And we'll probably, I think for this, I'm just going to start with like the main part, I guess like the fuselage, if you will. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what we're going to go with. Yeah, it's the weirdest plane I've ever seen, but we're gonna build it in Blender. That's what we're gonna do. All right, let's go ahead and hide this and hide this. Again, when we talk about modeling, I think like one of the first things to talk about is like, okay, break it down into simple shapes. In the middle here, I'm just seeing like I'm seeing a cylinder. That's what I see, and I think that's what it is. Let me just turn this layer back on because I want to look at it from head on. Yeah, I mean, more or less it's a cylinder. So let's go ahead and add a cylinder. All right, we'll start with a simple cylinder here. I'll just rotate it. I'll tab into edit mode. I'll scale it down, bring it up. All right, now it looks like this picture is not like perfectly centered. So I'm gonna try to center it. All right, I'm gonna scale this up a little bit until it's about the right size. And then I'll go to my top-down view, make sure everything's lined up nice. Cool. All right, I'm gonna also just move this image just ever so slightly. Again, I'm trying to get it centered so that when I like build this out, it looks kind of proper. I'm gonna give it a quick save, and then I'm gonna just kind of start extruding this. So I think for this one, we probably don't need these faces right here. I'm probably just gonna like take my edge loop, and I'm probably just gonna like extrude it, scale it, scale it over and over until I kind of have like the general shape. Let's try it out. I mean, this is how I foresee this kind of happening, right? So I'm gonna extrude it this way. All right, until it's kind of like right about there. I'm going to extrude it again, and then I'm going to scale it in. Extrude it again. I'm going to scale it in. Now, it looks like I might need to redo that, right? Because it looks like it comes out right here as well. So let's do this. Let's extrude it to about right here. Let's scale it in. Let's extrude it again. Scale it in. Extrude it again. Let's scale it in, extrude it again, and we'll just stop like right about there. All right, and again, like it's not lining up perfect because I don't know if I don't have the blueprint lined up perfect. Let me see. The blueprint is not perfectly lined up, so let me fix that. It's like, it's almost got to be like pixel perfect here. Again, extrude it on the Y. Scale it in just a little bit, and then we'll just press F to like fill that face. And then I think what I'm going to do is give this a subdiv as well. Yeah, okay. Perfect. Awesome. All right, now let's do the back side here. again, going into edit mode, selecting this rear section here. And let's just kind of extrude this out. This stream is going to be a gold mine. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, this is a cool one. I have never modeled a plane before. So I really enjoy, like, this is like a challenge for me too, right? Because there's going to be a lot of like areas on this plane that are going to be, they're going to be challenging. I don't anticipate this being an easy model just because, like, when it comes to plane, there's a lot of curvature. There's a lot of like aerodynamics. There's a lot of like perfect parts, right? So obviously it's not going to line up perfectly, but we're going to get as close as we can. I think maybe something's not centered here. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I'm going as best as I can here. Oops. Now, let me see the backside. Oh, you know what I also need, guys? I'm going to need like an actual picture of this thing as well so I can see it. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize this. It's a good thing I'm looking at this. This right here is like flat at the end. If you look, it's like, I don't know if you can see this, guys, but it's like flat. So it kind of like tapers in, but it squeezes in. So we have the shape right, but it needs to squeeze in from the sides. So we'll probably have to figure that out. That's something we're going to have to solve. But that's good because now we kind of see like ahead of the game here and we don't mess up like as we go. So this is actually going to be a good reference image for me. So let me save that. Let me find one more, maybe like a top-down view of this thing. Let me see. I need a better angle of this thing. That's a pretty good angle right there. I like that. Okay, we'll go with that one. Awesome. And I just need to put this in my document so I have it because it's a really good reference image to refer to when it comes to like certain angles that I can't really see from the blueprint. This is a good one here. Perfect. Okay. So again, like it kind of like tapers and it gets thin. Like it doesn't just get narrow like this, but it actually gets thin too. So let's see here. I think one of the ways we can like accomplish, there's a couple ways we could do this. I don't want to like destroy the model, right? But I'm already thinking like of going into this view, right? Let's see where it tapers out. It looks like it only really tapers out towards like the really far backside. So I just want to see if we can maybe use proportional editing for this. Let's just see what we can do. Let's go ahead and select like some of the central ones right here. Maybe like this. Okay. Whoops. Yep. So this is just an idea, and we can come back to this because I want to get more of the full body of the plane. Oops. Just want to see if we were to take like these two sides, right, and squeeze them in on the X like this. But if we use proportional editing, we might be able to like flatten it kind of like that, if that makes sense. That's like kind of like the general shape. So I'm going to come back to this, but that I think is like what it looks like, sort of. So we'll come back to that because I don't want to destroy it just yet. I kind of want to leave it how it is. I kind of want to revisit it because I want to get all the basic shapes in there first. But I do think this will be a cool one. I definitely do have to check out the back of the plane. I'm a beginner. What courses do you recommend? I'm going to start right now. I would definitely recommend our CG Cookie Core courses. So I'll shout those out just real quick. There we go. I'm just going to shout these out real quick. This is not an ad, but you asked, so I'm going to, of course, shout out our own course. These are the core fundamentals of Blender. I teach a course in here on physics, but if you're looking to learn like real good modeling stuff, this is your guy right here, Jonathan Lampel. So if it's like you just wanted to choose this one, they're all a la carte on SuperHive, so you can get them individually. You don't have to pay for the whole course. I took this course and I learned so much. In fact, I should probably know a little bit more about modeling, but you know, short-term memory loss, it happens. All right, so we have our like fuselage piece, if you will. We'll come back to like the overall like shape because obviously right here, like there's a few things we have to work on, right? So I don't want to go too overboard on that. Now these pieces here, these like, I guess, front wings, if you will, these will be pretty simple to do. When you said, wait, you modeled that plane? Well, kind of working on it right now. So here we go. What we're going to do is do the front wings, and I'm seeing planes. I mean, well, my God, no pun intended. That was a pun. All right, I'm seeing a plane, so let's add a plane. Okay, so we're going to add a plane. I'll probably do a mirror modifier on this bad boy, so I'll kind of like, you know, move this over here, right? Scale it down, move it, all that good stuff. We'll do a mirror. And we don't really have to do anything else because the origin is already set to like the center of the world. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Awesome. All right, so what we'll do is, and I do this like the same thing pretty much with everything, is I kind of just take these vertices, or I go into vertex select mode here, and I'm on proportional editing. I'll just take these and kind of like move them around, right? So I think I'll start them on the inside. I'm gonna go to X-ray mode so that they start like on the inside of the plane, if you will. There we go. And you can kind of see like there's a fin on the wing itself. So I want to look at that real quick. Okay, so the fin is like kind of a separate piece. Let me just make sure. Does the fin jut out? It does. All right, so I'm going to pretend that fin is not part of this, right? So I'm going to kind of do something like this, right? Just a little something like that, right? And then I'm going to take these bad boys. I'll extrude them out. Okay, we'll come back here. This isn't going to be perfect by any means, but of course we're going to use the subdiv workflow on this bad boy. We'll extrude again. We'll come up here. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add subdiv because I want to see what this is going to look like. Okay, good. And I think I'm going to do 3 because I really want this. Yeah, we're going to have to bring these out. I want this to come out. Now, obviously, right now we're in X-ray mode. Obviously, right here, we're going to need to like increase the vertex, right? The crease of the vertex itself. Perfect. Same with this, just a little bit. That looks good. Okay, and then for these guys right here, we want the crease to be all the way up. Just like that. And now we kind of have like our general wing shape. Let's like kind of see where these things sit. Where is my other reference? Okay. All right, so they sit pretty low, right about there. And actually, they're tilted. So I'm going to tilt them a little bit. And we are going to give them, oh, we're going to need to bring this in here. We're going to give them a solidify modifier as well. Okay, good. We'll do solidify. And I'll make that right before the mirror. That's looking nice. And then I'm going to try to give it a bevel, see what happens. If it doesn't work well, we'll come back to it. But so far, I'm pretty happy with all these. So I'm going to collapse these modifiers. I'm going to add a bevel. Did that work? Oh, it did work a little bit. Okay. Not terrible. Let's see. Looks decent, but we'll come back to that because that's not really what I want. One of the reasons sometimes it's better to do like hard surface modeling is because modifiers can only get you so far. I'm tempted to say like you could make this out of a curve, which sounds crazy, but I think it could work. All right, we'll stay here for right now. I'm gonna get rid of the bevel though, and we're gonna come back to that. All right, so we have our wings in the front. Let's duplicate this and kind of get those wings in the back. I want to look though before I do anything crazy here with the wings. So the wings in the back, they have a certain thickness to them. I want to go to my references online as well. If you're going to use animation, I'm sorry, hold on. If you're going to use animation, also the wings are working. Oh, they fold. Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be animating this anytime soon. Okay, so these wings start wide and they slim out. So for something like this, oh man, there's so many ways I can go about doing this. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So for something like this, I might start with a plane again for the wings, and then I'll come back and like give them a profile. I'm trying to think this through without like destroying the topology and things like that, because a lot of people have been complaining about the topology needs to be better, this and that, and I want to honor that. Like I want people to be happy with like what they're watching, because clearly at the front here, right, if you look at the, yeah, you can kind of see it here a little bit better. They're a little bit thicker in the front, and then it thins out towards the back, I guess, as most wings do to create lift. I'm just trying to see. This is a good picture right here. I think this might actually be a 3D model, and I don't think it's a real photo. Okay, yeah, here we go. See a little bit better. Okay. I'm thinking through how I would do this. Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try something. We're going to get rid of the solidify here. All right. Now, this could go very poorly, or it could go badly. So if you extrude this down, I just want to show you guys. If you extrude this down, now we have vertex creases right here. You can see that we can create some thickness here. So what I'm thinking is we might be able to create thickness and then just increase the edge creases themselves rather than anything else. So like you could start right here. This is just an example. And then we could take these back ones here. We could take this entire loop, all this stuff. But you could like, oops, you could scale it like this, right? So that's one way to kind of create that. Now we need to get rid of these creases here. And I'm just thinking this through because actually that is sort of what I'm looking for. Now I'll press A and I'll get rid of all of the creases, right? And then what we'll do is we'll just take this edge loop here. We can't, hold on. We'll take this here. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna let me do it. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's 4. And then we'll do a mean bevel weight. No, we'll do a mean crease. There we go. All right, so with a mean crease, now we have a crease on this, right? So now we have like this interesting topology where in the middle, we have the crease that we want, right? Let's bring this up a little bit. I think that looks a lot better. Like, so I think that's probably how I'll do the back wings too, because now I have a crease. The general shape of the wing looks a little bit better, and then it thins out towards the end. And if we want it to be even thinner, we can do that with the crease. But right now, I'm pretty happy with it, actually. I think towards the end, we could also adjust this as well. But I don't know. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and let's build out the back ones as well. What do you guys think so far? Not bad. I'm pretty pleased with that, actually. And don't worry, I know there's more details on the wings. We'll come back to those, but as of right now, I'm pretty happy. So let's go ahead and add this. Also, while we're at it, you know what? Let's name this. I'm just gonna name this center. I don't know if it's called a fuselage, what it is. I'm just gonna name this front wings. And then I'm also gonna turn on my random coloring. And let me check the comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. If you guys aren't already subscribed, definitely consider it. If I find this plane challenging, try another one. Oh boy, we're already talking about new suggestions over here. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and tab into edit mode. Let's scale. Let's just get our mirror modifier in there so we have it. Perfect. And you know what? I'm going to hide these views here because they're kind of starting to distract me. They're not working well with my my ADHD right now. Okay. What I will do though is I will put this on the left here, like that. And we'll do a little split screen action. Okay, good. And you know what? I actually want this guy here. Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna observe. So here's what's interesting, and this is, I'm glad, this is why we always look at reference photos. If you guys look really closely right here, this part of the wing right here is actually, I think, slightly elevated above this part. So we'll still build this how we're building it, but we're gonna have to be really careful with like that elevation. So I have to make like a loop cut that goes right through this section here. Okay, I think I know what I'll do. Okay, let's tab into edit mode. Let's go ahead and scale this out. Okay, I'm also going to, you know what? Oh, I'm tempted to add a loop cut right here as well. I wanna add a loop cut here because this kind of has this weird like, not symmetry, but it has this weird like offset symmetry. That looks good. And then we'll kind of start to build these things out. In fact, I want this to be like this. We're going to build this out so that this is a separate section right here. Okay. And then we'll take the edge and we will extrude it this way, scale it on the Y. All right. And then we'll come back in and we'll do the same thing that we were going to do before, where we kind of take these points and we're just going to kind of go along as best as we can. Okay. Again, extrude, right? Oops. Extrude, scale on the Y, and eventually we'll probably use our loop tools. Okay. But for right now, I'm just kind of going very, very basic here, right? Nothing crazy. Trying to keep these pieces in the center. So if we look like, right, we don't have anything too crazy right now. It's coming along though. Coming along, and we will end up doing a subdiv. Don't you guys worry. Let's go ahead and extrude that. You ever press something in Blender and you're like, crap, what did I just press? I've had a few moments where I've pressed something and I don't know what I pressed. I don't know what happened. And then I'm on a rapid Google search trying to figure out what is it that I did? Like, what in the world did I press on that caused this to happen, right? It happens all the time. It also has happened to me a lot in Photoshop before. Okay, so we have a turn in the wing coming up. So I'm going to stop this right about here. I'm going to flatten these, like perfectly flatten them, SX0 to flatten. And then we're going to add our subdiv here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and push this up here. Now, one of the things, again, we take this vertex right here. You can't see it, but it's hidden. We take this vertex. We'll just increase that vertex weight for now. We'll do the same with the one up here. Okay, and let's just see what we have so far. Cool. Okay, so we're starting to like get some wings that are looking half decent. And then what we'll do is we will adjust. So we're going to have to adjust the wing eventually. So I might not do any extrusion on the wing yet, but I will tell you that the wing has a piece that goes up. Like I guess it has like this fin thing on the side right here. So let's go ahead and get our side view here. I'm going to rename this. This is going to be our top down. Okay, so for our side view, let's go ahead and go to our side view here. Why does this look off? Why? Well, first of all, let's go into edit mode, bring this down. Why does it seem off? Oh, maybe there's just like a hidden part that we can't see. Why does it look off though? All right, here's what we'll do. I'll match the height anyway. So we'll go ahead and we'll take, don't want to mess this up. Now it has to be part of the same thing. Let's extrude this up, okay? Just bring this up. And I'm gonna bring it up again. I'm just gonna match the tilt, like to the best of my abilities. And look, I know it's not perfect, and the reason why is because I'm not sure why, but something's off here. What is off? Oh, I see why. I didn't realize this, again, because I've never seen this plane before. If you look, the wing, let's see if I can get a better shot. The wing overhangs the, I'm sorry, the fin overhangs the wing. It's like not part of it, I guess. So let me, yeah, okay, that's a much better angle. Why can't I, there we go. So the wing, wait, what? What? Hold on, I gotta see a better angle of this. Is it not part of the wing? Oh, here we go. It's a good shot. It's almost like its own. I might just make it a separate piece then. Okay. It's weird. In some shots, it looks like it's a separate piece. Yeah, okay. This shot, it definitely looks like it's a separate piece. Yeah, okay. I'll make it a separate piece then. I think I've decided that it's not part of the wing. I need like a high quality shot though. Sorry guys, I want to make sure I get this right because this was a user request and I don't know, I want to do it justice. It's a wild looking plane though. There's really not a lot of high quality images of this thing. Why not? Oh, the person that suggested it. Hold on. You thought this was an easy one for me? I mean, it's not that it's not easy. It's just that I want to get it right. Like, I don't want to do it wrong, if that makes sense. All right, I'll just make it. I'll make it a separate piece. That's fine. Okay. All right, so here we go. And we'll do, I don't know, this one here. Let's do this one. There we go. Perfect. All right. Here we go. Thank you guys for your patience. I just want to make sure, like I said, that I'm doing this right. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, though. I am going to duplicate this, and I'm going to do separate, and we'll just do by selection. And now I have this piece here that I can extrude. And this is going to be a completely separate thing apart from what we had before. And you know what? I'll just take the whole thing and I'll try to build it right here so that we can like match this. I'm going to get rid of, actually, I'll turn off the subdiv for just 1 second. Okay. We'll extrude this up. And then we'll take our points and kind of work from there. You know, it's crazy. I didn't think that I was going to have issues with that. But now that I know. Okay. Now that I know, we're good. Okay. Alrighty. All right, I'm feeling a little bit better now that I actually like know what this thing's supposed to look like a little bit. Go back to that. And okay. Oh, another thing. I don't know if I have my, do I not have it? Oh, here it is, loop tools. So with loop tools, you can do relax. I normally don't use this feature depending on like what I'm trying to do. It really depends. Like we did a lot of car modeling recently, and I think I used it there, but overall, I don't use it terribly much. Awesome. Much better. Okay, much better, much better. All right, let's go ahead and increase the vertex. Weight. This looks good. This looks good. You know what? Let's just do this. Perfect. Okay, now what I'll do, see, that makes more sense because that lines up sort of with the wing here. Okay. I'm very happy we did that, and I'm happy that we researched that before like coming to a conclusion. All right, let's see what it looks like now with the center back. Awesome. It's starting to actually look like the plane. I'm pretty happy. Awesome. Okay, so we have our wings. Again, same concept with these. I think what I'll do is I'll just extrude it on the X. Okay, we'll get rid of the creases as well. And then what I'll do is I will just, does it thin out? I guess it starts not thin, so we'll go ahead and take these guys. 1, 2, 3, and we'll just scale them on the X. Make it thin, and it's gonna look kind of like that. Awesome, cool. And oh, and then you know what? We'll do it down here as well. We'll just do just an edge crease here on this one. It's gonna let me select the edge. There we go, and we'll do an edge crease. Oh, that doesn't look right. Hold on. You know what? We'll just select the whole loop. That's fine. We'll select the whole bottom of it and do an edge crease. There we go. That's better. All right. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about that. Now, obviously, this doesn't have any thickness, so we'll come back to that. So far, though, I would say I'm pretty confident that it's starting to look pretty good. Let's double check our level for our wing. Okay, good. All right, now it's a matter of like adjusting the thickness. So this is the fun part. So this is where it's going to get more complex, but it is starting to take shape. Yeah, I know, Roy, I know. You know what's funny? It's like you always think it's going to be easy until you get into it, and then you want to make it perfect. So I'm happy with it so far, though. Is everybody on board with it so far? What do you guys think? How are we doing? Not bad, not bad. I would say pretty good. Okay, so we're starting to model our plane. We're looking good. Let's do the part that I don't want to do, which is going to be to take this piece here and, you know, extrude it. This is the part that like can be a little scary because it's hard to go back from what we're about to do. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's thinner on one side. I'm trying to think this through before I go and like do something crazy with this. It's thinner on one side than it is on the other. So like if I was to extrude this up right now to get like the maximum thickness, which would be on this side, right? In that case, we would have to thin it out on the other side. But in order to do that, I think we could just use proportional editing. So let's just try it. Let's see what it looks like and go from there. I am going to get rid of all of the creases. Okay, we're going to start with that. Let's just assume that this is the maximum thickness that it would be. I am actually going to press A and bring this down because it starts about there. Although, let me look at my top down because I don't think I have that correct. Okay, something must not be lined up here. Hold on, before I do anything else. Why doesn't this look like it's lined up? That's better. So then this really should be more like right there. Hold on. Let me scale this up. Okay. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, so now that we have this, I think what I'll do is I'll just take, I want to say I could take these two, scale them down like this, but if I use proportional editing, right, we could kind of like really get specific with this, right? Like, I don't know how thin it gets, but see how now we have this nice taper? I feel like that's more or less it. What do you guys think? I feel like that looks pretty decent. I'm I'm pretty happy with that. And then again, we come in here and we give it a, there we go, crease, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and see what this looks like now. I feel like it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad at all. All right, now let me see the side view. Okay, I think I know what I did wrong here. Let's see. There's a lot of, it's a lot of refining. I want to look at my top-down view. Ah, okay. I need to increase the, increase the crease. Cool. All right, let's see how it looks. Awesome. Now, obviously, this isn't lining up, so we're going to have to see what that looks like. You know what? I did see in one of these shots, is it this one? No, there was a shot where there's like a little piece there as well. So hold on. Let me just look. The reason I suggested this plane, I'm curious how you would start modeling it. Yeah, no, this is, I mean, this is my process. Again, like, I think we talk about this a lot across CG Cookie, but there's just so many ways to do it. Like, this is definitely not the best way. I know that because I've seen other people model way more efficiently than this. But I've been trying to be more like intentional with the way I do things and not just doing things to do them. So yeah, look at this picture here. Like, there's almost like this, it like comes down. Why does it not do that in the drawing? Or does it? And I'm just missing it. Does it do that in the drawing? Oh, I guess it does do that in the drawing. How did I miss that? Hold up. Okay, I think I can do this though. Hold on. Oh, I see. I did miss it. So, just scale this down. I did miss it. How the heck did I miss that? That's okay. We'll get it. So like, there's a whole part right here that I totally missed. Let's get rid of proportional editing. It's really hard to see like how this piece comes together. It almost looks like that. Yeah, okay. So it looks a little bit more like that. Obviously, we're going to need to get rid of the creases here. And then we'll come back and we'll crease just the bottom. Now, you know what? Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that looks a lot better. Okay, I'm happy with that. Good. These are the back wings. The basic shape of the wing is like a teardrop, if you will, the physics of flights. Yes, like, so it's kind of like it droops down, or like it thins out towards the back, yeah. So I guess, oh, you know what? We kind of forgot to do that part, didn't we? All right, let's do that. Let me get, excuse me, let me get this part here. Whoa, how did that fly get in here? So like this part should be more like that, correct? However, let's turn on proportional editing. Now that's better. Now we're talking here, ladies and gentlemen. I still don't really know why this isn't like quite lining up, and I'm like, I don't know, like, is it tilted? Is mine not tilted? Maybe these drawings just aren't matched up. Like, I really genuinely have no idea why it's not lined. I mean, obviously it should line up like this, right? Like we know it should be like something like that, right? So you know what? I'm just going to place it manually because for some reason it's not lining up with the drawing. So I don't know if I can necessarily trust this drawing. Like I don't know if the perspectives are the same or if maybe something was off. Like, and this is one of the biggest challenges because a lot of the times I'll take my own reference photos on purpose. But you know what? Like it's kind of a pain. Like you guys can probably tell because we're doing it in real time right now. Can you please recreate a Cinema 4D style gold slice animation in Blender? Gold slice, like what exactly would that be? I've been trying to create it. You've been trying to create it for years. I don't know exactly what a gold slice animation is. If you can like show me a reference somehow though, I'll definitely like consider it. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, let's let's get back into this. I'm kind of curious to like look at my own like topology here. Doesn't look that bad though. I don't know, doesn't look that bad. I mean, it's really just simple shapes. Okay, now so we have what's left? Oh yeah, I guess the actual like main parts of the plane. All right, let's go ahead and hide this. All right, so I think the next part that I'll do is these like I don't know, the engines, you know, to make the plane go so that it can actually go somewhere. Now let me take another look at the top. Okay, so the engines are kind of like this really weird shape. This will be fun. Honestly, I'm seeing a cube with like a bevel. I mean, I know it doesn't look like a cube, but it kind of does. If you look at it in a certain fashion, it kind of looks like a cube. So let's just kind of go with a cube and let's see what we can do. So I'm gonna add a cube. I'm gonna scale it down, put it over here. I'm gonna just make it like the general shape of this thing. Let's go ahead and bring it down a little bit. Let's make a mirror modifier. Excuse me. Yeah, it's more, the shape at the lower part of the wing stabilizer is more rounded. Oh, right here you're saying. You're right, it is more rounded. We will definitely have to come back to that. Are you talking about right here or down below the wing? Either way, we'll definitely do that. Absolutely. We'll come back to that. Alrighty, let's see here. All right, so here's kind of how I see this thing going. Again, the drawing I don't think does it like perfect justice, but I'm kind of seeing like it kind of it's just this cube that has like a few different extrusions, and that's really it. So let's try this out. Again, I don't think the drawing is like incredibly accurate to the actual thing. Like it's close, but I really don't think this is like a true technical drawing, because if it was, I don't think I would be having this many issues with like the proportions. Now maybe I'm just a bad 3D artist, but I don't know. I've never had this many issues with like a technical drawing. Like if this was a true technical drawing, I really don't think I'd be having like this many issues. Because more or less, like I don't know, I don't have these issues when it comes to something that should have the correct proportions, and I just don't know if it has those correct proportions. So I'm just being honest. Or maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe it does have the correct proportions and I'm doing something incorrectly. That's also possible. I'm not perfect. All right, so oopsies, I forgot to scale that properly. That should only be scaled on the X. And okay. All right, so that's like the general shape. And then to be honest, I'm thinking just like with a subdiv, like I can just crease the edges however I want. Now it looks like this part here comes down. So I'm going to turn on my proportional editing. Kind of like looks like that a little bit. And then almost looks like it comes in just a little bit more, but we'll come back to that. There is an opening there, so I guess we'll create that as well. All right, so we're going to make a subdiv, and then what we're going to do, because this looks really wonky, is we are going to tab into edit mode. I am going to crease the edges. So I'm going to crease this edge, that edge, and that edge. Oopsies. No, I didn't mean to create that. There we go. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just see what this looks like. Yeah, so it'd be like more, a little bit more like that, right? But hold on. One more. There we go. That's better. All right, so it's got this like really weird shape to it, but it's kind of coming along a little bit. I actually think on the top, we could almost do like a loop cut on the top. And then I'm tempted to say we could take this edge, just hear me out before you yell at me, and then turn our proportional editing off and kind of just raise it a little bit to kind of get that like, that sort of, I don't know, angled look, if you will. Does look like it gets flatter down here, so I don't know how the heck. Wait a sec, how the heck did it get like that? I did not do that, did I? Did I do that? I don't think I did. Sound like Urkel over here. Did I do that? There we go. Hold up. I don't know how that happened. I also don't know how I never did this, did I? There we go. Bro, hold on a second. How? Let me go back. I must have done this at some point. Was it ever that thin? Again, the technical drawing does not look like the it does not look like the real thing, does it? Or can I just not see the part that I'm editing right now? Maybe I just can't see that part because there's no Okay, I actually think I'm wrong. I think that maybe this part is that thing. It's just like really hard to see. Hold on, let me go to another photo. Oh. That's the okay, hold on. We're gonna back this up here. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna back this up. I am going to delete that part because actually that's the cone of the propeller, not the actual like engine part. So let's do that. Let's delete that. Let me go to my X-ray mode. Let me delete the faces. Let me see what we have here. Okay, much better, much better. And we'll fill that. Oh, you know what we have to do? We have to do face grid fill. Better. Did I do that right? I think I did. Okay, that's much better. Because that was not supposed to be like that. I knew I was doing something wrong. I'm like, no, that's not right. Okay. All right, let's just pretend that's perfect, which it's not, but that's much better than it was before. Now for the cone part, that obviously is going to be a cone. And if you really look closely here, it's not quite like perfect. There's something going on under it. And this is why like having the reference photos is so important. Like if I have the real object in front of me, it would be much easier to do this. It doesn't need to be perfect for the stream as long as it comes close to the drawing and the shape. Yes, Shift Z for X-ray mode. Oh, is that the shortcut? I don't think I've ever used it. Shift Z. Oh, that's nice. I like it. Wireframe mode, you mean? I'm assuming you meant. All right, let's get the cone in there. You know, for the cone, I'm just thinking we could probably use a primitive. There's this one called cone, so we're gonna go ahead and use that. You know what's funny? I've never, ever in my life, I mean ever, used a cone. I've actually never used it in Blender. Just because there's never been any reason for me to do it. But here we are. Okay, let's do this. Let's do mirror. And let's bring this in. Okay. Why can't I add a loop cut? What do you mean? What? Why can't I add a loop cut? What you mean, bro? Okay, let me try something different. You know what? I am going to do. This is really stupid. I'm actually not going to use the. I'm not going to use the cone. Oh, I'm not going to use the cone. I'm going to delete this vertice, and I'm going to take this and I'm just going to move it along the Y, extrude it along the Y. I could have just used the cylinder for this. Oh, proportional editing still on. Oh Lord. So we're not going to use the cone. Now I see why I don't use the cone, because the cone's, well, kind of useless for me, at least a little bit. All right. Perfect. Although, wait a second. Why does it look weird? Oh, because we made a subdiv. That's better. All right, that's fine. All right, so we have that general shape. That's funny. Like I've never. Oh my gosh, I've never used a cone. It is actually very. It's actually very pointy. Hold on a second. Might not need to bevel. Very pointy. I feel like that's pretty pointy. Okay, cool. All right, how close is this? It's not quite touching. Let's make sure this is touching. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about everything so far. I just want to see what we have so far. All right, this is actually kind of a sick model. Like I'm pretty happy with it so far. For the wings, for the propellers, how many do we have? How many propellers are on this thing? I can't tell. Or how many? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 5? I think it is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and add some propellers, shall we? And then for this one, we can probably just do a probably an array. It's a cone premiere. Yes, it's a cone premiere. That is what it is. All right. Okay, let's do. I think we'll just do a. I don't know. Plain. Pun intended. Pun intended, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Okay, let's just generally speaking, like scale it. I don't know, like however long this is. And then remember, like, one, this is going to be kind of up here on this thing, right? Now, this is going to be tilted, right? Like, I guess, like this way in some fashion, right? It's probably going to have a solidify and a subdiv. Subdiv. And then we're going to make a crease at the end. Let's just do, like, why isn't it creasing? And then let's do, like, a very thin propeller. Okay. Subdiv, we'll do more. Shade it smooth. Now I think actually for the propeller, it's going to be like kind of curved a little bit. And I think in order to achieve that, hold on. Let me do something real quick. Let me scale this out. In order to achieve that, I think the way we can do it is we can add a loop cut, take this piece here, and then rotate it just a little bit, right? So we kind of have this, you guys see how there's kind of like a slight rotation now? Does everyone see that? I feel like that is the way to do it. I don't know which way it's supposed to face. I'm not an engineer, but I think it looks cool, so let's go with it. Sometimes just looking cool is enough. All right, we're going to do an array. We're going to do a circular array. We are going to see if I remember how to do this. Circle, yep, align rotation, radius. Oh, let me set the origin to geometry. Perfect. Radius is going to be right here. We want it to follow the, which way do we want it to follow? Oh, I have to apply the object, apply rotation. Okay, and then let me tab into edit mode. Where is this thing? We're going to need it to also follow. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work. That's what I was looking for. We need 5 of them. And we need it to be lined up properly. I do think that it's supposed to be a little bit bigger. There we go. Let me just do this. Hold on. Let me undo that. All right, how does that look? I feel like something doesn't look right. Maybe it's the thickness of the blades. Solidify, let's do 0.5, that's fine. I mean, more or less, that's kind of, I feel like, what it's supposed to look like. I feel like the blades don't look quite right. Maybe they need to be a little bit wider. So let's increase the width a little bit. That looks better. Okay, I feel like that's better. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's mirror it across the X, and we'll just use this as the central object. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks good, I think. I'm pretty happy with that. Curved and spiraled a bit. It is a cone from here, yep. All right, let's see how we're looking here. Overall, not bad so far. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Oh, there's this, is there a fin in the middle of it? Did I miss that? Oh, there's a fin right here. Oh, how did I miss that? Okay, let's get that. Let's actually take this. Okay, let's duplicate that. Oops. And then we're going to get rid of the mirror. I am going to flip this upside down. Okay, I'm going to put it right here. All right, and then let's center it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I'm stupid. Set origin to geometry, and then we'll center it perfectly. Perfect. Is that centered perfectly? I think it is. All right, so this is supposed to be like underneath the wing, right? So let's do this. Let's go ahead and grab all these things here. And let's just go ahead and place this here. Let's place this here. And we're going to highlight everything, bring it up just a little bit. Just want to see. Okay, good. And now what we need to do is we need to flatten this backside. So let's go ahead and take all of this. Watch, you guys are going to like this trick. You probably already know the trick. I'm about to use SY0 to scale to Y. We'll bring it out, rotate it, bring it up. And then we'll probably take these as well. Again, this is our like X-ray mode. right? So we're kind of messing around here. Perfect. Again, I'm going to do the same thing here, except for with Z. I'm going to bring it down, rotate again. I don't know. Oh, it kind of comes. I need a. Oh my God, I literally have the reference here. Hold on. Where's our reference? Side view. There we go. Again, why does it look? Oh, it comes down the other way. Duh. All right, we're gonna do S0. We're gonna rotate. Comes down like this. You know what I'm gonna do? I have a completely different idea of what I want to do. I want to take this and just extrude it and move it. Simple. Take this. It's supposed to start right about there. It's actually really hard to see what I'm doing because I can't see where the edge of this is. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but close to what I'm looking for. Okay. All right, now this down here, I think I do need this to have like more of a crease. So it's going to come down like this. But I think I'm going to just take all these and give them like a crease because it's supposed to look like that, sort of. I feel like, is that what it's supposed to look like? Kind of. It's really hard to see because this drawing ain't lining up. What can I compare it to? I do feel like it's shorter than this, but it's starting to look kind of sick. What am I missing? I feel like, is that really all the wings there is? That there are, sorry. Let me see. Wow, there's really no wing on the top. That's crazy. All right, we need to come back to this because it looks like there's a there's a thinner part up here. Yeah, it's gonna need to thin out and stretch back out towards the top. Looks good. Yeah, I think it looks good so far. I'm like pretty happy with it. It's crazy how much work actually goes into something like this, even though it's like pretty simple, more or less. Wow. It kind of makes you like appreciate it a little bit more. I feel like I have an idea too for the fuselage. Here's what I want to do. I would like to delete. I think I'm going to delete these vertices. I'm going to take these, and this is going to be like the start of the other part of it. And I'll show you what I mean. So like this starts right here, but I think it thins. It's about to thin out on this side. So like, hold on. Should be like this, right? Hold on. Let me do this. Where's my proportional editing? There it is. Okay, good. So now what I think is it starts to go like this here, right? And then you extrude this on the Y. There we go. And it starts to get thin like there. And then I think it just kind of stays there like that. But how high does it get? Okay, I think we can do the rest with proportional editing. So let me do this. Let me extrude it out on the Y. Scale it out on the Y a little bit more. And then we'll take this top part and kind of even it out. So let's take the top loop. See if it's going to let me. There we go. Hold on. Let me get rid of proportional editing for a second. Nah, it's not going to work. I thought it would. Oh, wait. We can just move it. Hold on. I almost wish I could do that. I think it's close. You know what? Let me do this. Let me go back into this mode real quick. And we're going to take just the back side of it, this piece. We're going to take this piece. We're going to take this piece, and then I'm going to kind of move it up with proportional editing, right? Kind of like this. Now I need that piece too. I feel like that's kind of what it looks like, except for this piece and this piece. Yeah, more like that. It's really, that's a hard thing to model. You know what would probably be good for this is plasticity. Because I've seen people use plasticity for things like this. It's a pain in the butt though, I'll tell you that. It almost like seems like it gets so thin that it's like completely thinned out at the end. But this is too, I think this is too much. Although, come to think of it, it does look like it slants down that much. That's a really tough shape. That is a really tough shape. I don't know. I really don't know how I would. It's weird. It's not affecting anything else. Oh, there it goes. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Your plane. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine designing something like this from scratch and making it flyable, talking about engineering? I know, and it's like, it's funny because in Blender, like, I don't know, I've been using Blender for probably like 5 years now, so I'm not an expert at modeling or anything like that. Like, I like to think I'm good, but, you know, there's always someone better out there. But, like, when it comes to, like, CAD and other softwares that are, like, very specific with, like, specific units and things like that, really makes you, it makes you realize just how hard some of this stuff is. This looks cool, though. I'd be curious to see, like, what this looks like with, like, an actual shader. All right, now I do want to make sure that we take time to actually go through some other suggestions, and I think someone asked for a gold slice animation. I don't know exactly what that is, so let me look that up. I promise we'll come back to this at some point, but I kind of want to take a break from this, like a pause on this. Just make sure everything's all good. Okay, yeah, I want to take a pause on this and kind of come back to this later, but let's look at it in render view real quick. Let's just get a little sky texture going here. Do I have a sky texture? Oh, I do. Yes. I'm just curious what this would look like with like a glossy, I don't know, like a glossy BSDF. Not glass. Where's glossy? Glossy, there's. Well, that's way too glossy. All right, we'll just do principled then. Fine. If you're going to be like that, principled with no roughness. Perfect. And then we'll just add a coat on top of that with 0 roughness. And we'll copy the material. And now, there it is. There's our incredible plane. It looks pretty cool, honestly, except for we don't really have, we don't have all like the true details and stuff like that. But I don't know, I'm pretty happy with like that general plane model. And it's like, it looks a lot better now that it has like materials and things like that and like some actual lighting. And I think it kind of goes to show you, well, let me shade this smooth. It goes to show you like with a little bit of effort, like you can get a pretty cool result. Like I always say like this is passable, but it's not passable for like a client project. I think that it could be a lot better and there's a lot more we could do with it. And if I had a better blueprint, I would like to think that I could make it better, but I'm still pretty happy with like the overall result. All right, please search Cinema 4D Gold Slice Animation. Cinema 4D Gold Slice Animation. I did not spell any of that right. Oh, okay. Cinema Gold D. Hold on. Gold Slice Animation by Roger Kilimanjaro? Bro, what? Oh, this one right here? Is this it? Oh, this is already a tutorial, though. Oh, you're saying how to do this in Blender. Okay. Let me think about it for a second. Let's break it down. Well, you know what? Let me just see how they do it in here. I'm curious. Actually, you know what? I don't need to watch this. I think I know how they do it. So let's do this. I think I know how to do this. Believe it or not, I think I have an idea. We're not going to do the conveyor belt, but I'll do. Well, I mean, we could do the conveyor belt too if we really wanted to, because I think I know how to do that too. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna keep this up here as like a reference. Here's how I might go about doing something like this. Let me just block this out real quick. I would, yeah, I have an idea. First things first, let's just kind of create the basic scene. I'm just taking a cube. I'm gonna basically make this like the frame part of it. Solidify. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's make this right here. So this is gonna kind of come through here, and it's gonna be our like cheese grater thing. And then for the actual, how many pieces are there? 9, so we need a grid. So I will just add a plane. I'll subdivide it until we get a grid. How many is it? 9? 1, 2, 3. My brain just stopped. Hold on a second. I'll just do this manually. We'll just add 2 loop cuts on each side. Perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll do a wireframe modifier on this. We will rotate it like that. Bring it down here. And this will be like our, you know, our simulated like cheese grater thing, whatever it is. All right. I'm going to say, and again, this is just going to be like a basic idea of like how to do this. First things first, we need to make the illusion that the cube is like being pushed through this. So I think I'll just animate it. I'm going to press, I'm going to go back like here. I'll press I, and then we'll just go, how many frames? Let's just make it happen over 30 frames, okay? So over 30 frames, it'll go all the way through, okay? However, we're gonna make it disappear because we want it to look like it's like passing through this, and then we want it to kind of disappear. So what I'm thinking we will do is add another cube, okay? Scale it up, and this cube is basically just gonna cut into the other cube. So this is gonna be like our Boolean, right? And I'm just gonna call this bool so we know what it does. I'll go here, I'll add a Boolean modifier, and I'll select the Boolean. So now what should happen is when this gets pushed through, let me just do this. When this gets pushed through, it's gonna disappear, right? Should. So see how it just disappeared? Just make the end of this 30. Actually, I'll make the end of this 120. So remember, we have a Boolean that's going to cut into this as soon as it reaches like the cheese grater part. So it looks like it's disappearing, right? So that's kind of like the illusion part of it. And then the next part of it would be the actual physics. So I think for the physics part of it, what I would do is probably just create like soft body physics with cubes, right? And have them land on like a surface. So again, we'll take a cube. This is just going to be like the actual surface part of it. I'll just kind of bring this up. I'll make this like our floor, if you will. Looks like the floor ends right about here, right? And there's this like kind of conveyor belt section. So we kind of have something like this, right? Whatever. And I'm going to kind of make this kind of come up so it's barely touching the surface. Now, there will be like real physics. So we're going to actually have like real physics in this. So first things first, let's go ahead and add our cavity in here so I can kind of see what's going on. Looks good. And then I'm going to go back to regular material. All right. Now I'm going to frame this so we can zoom in here. Okay, so we want to push through soft body physics. So how does soft body physics work? Well, I actually cover this in the fundamentals of physics in Blender 3D. So quick shout out to cgcookie.com/core. This is our core fundamentals of Blender. Just shouting it out because if you want to learn this kind of stuff, it is available in our course. And that's it. That's our only advertisement. Here we go. How do we do it? Well, let's go ahead and add a cube, and I'll show you how to add soft body physics. So we have our cube here. Let's give it some subdivisions so it has something to work with. Let's go to our physics tab and add a soft body physics. We'll uncheck goal because we don't need that. Now, if we press play, nothing should happen, right? But if we click, oopsies, did I actually add? Oh, did I not add that to the right thing? Hold on, soft body physics. Goal is unchecked. When we press play, it's going to fall, and it doesn't collide with anything because there's no collision objects. So if we make this collision, which is our floor here, should collide with it now. And it does, but it crumbles because we don't have the proper settings on it. So let's go back. Let's go to edges, and I'm going to check stiffness. And we're going to basically just play this over and over again until we get the results that we're looking for. I'm going to have our, let's see, our bending. It's not going to bend much. Let's try like 0.6 and see what that looks like. And we're going to just keep refining this until we get what we want. Okay, that doesn't look terrible. So it's a little bit more bouncy. Let me see how theirs looks. So theirs gets pushed through. And let's see how they fall. They fall and they kind of just, okay, so they fall. So there's really not much, shouldn't be much bounce. Let's see. Plasticity. How much it deforms, bending, yep, dampness. Let me try 1. I just want to see what this looks like. You know what? Let's try something like that, and let's just see what it looks like. So obviously right now we have a cube, we have our soft body physics, and now all we have to do is just push these tubes through that kind of like section, and then they just kind of fall out onto this surface. So how do we do that? What I'm going to do, and I'm going to kind of shrink this a little bit more. So basically what we want to do is we want to first lower the floor because I think it's a little bit high. Okay, I'm going to add our like fake conveyor belt thing right here. Okay, just so we kind of have an idea of like what this is going to be. All right, now I'm actually going to add collision to this as well. I'm going to test this real quick. We're going to bring this over here. Perfect, it falls there, falls onto our surface. Awesome. All right, so in order to make this work, we really just need to like figure out a way to push this off. In order to push it off, we need a physics object. In this case, I actually think our physics object can be like right behind this cube. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add another cube. I know, lots of cubes. I'm going to put it right here, and it's going to push our physics objects away from where like they need to be, if that makes sense. So I'm going to add a rigid body type passive. I'm going to check animated so we can actually animate this and push things. And to show you that it works, I'm going to press I. I'm going to keyframe it. We're going to go to like frame 24. I'm going to push it over here, and it should collide with our soft body. Let's see. And it does. It pushes it. Now, it's a little fast, so I'm going to slow it down just to see. So it does push it, but I want this to be the shape of a box. Let's try it again. And it does push it. Okay. Now we need to check. I want to see where my surface response is. I want the friction to be high. Sensitivity, collision margin. Let's try 0.1. See what that looks like. You know what? Let me try 0.5. So the collision margin is basically like where the object touches the other object. Now to make this a little bit more visible, let me bring this over here. Let me start it right here. Why is it not pushing it anymore? Hold on. Oh, I'm stupid. We need, we don't have collision on our rigid body. I'm sorry. We don't even need a rigid body. I think we just need this to have collision. There we go. Okay, my fault. That's my fault, guys. So we just need it to have collision. So now what we're able to do is we're able to push this object away from anything we want. So now all we have to do is we basically just take our physics object, which is this guy here, and we just need to make slices. We just need to make our 9 slices. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me scale this down so it's about the thickness, or like whatever size this would be. Okay, and then I'm just gonna scale it like this. And then I think I'll probably just duplicate it, but let me just make sure it's reacting. It is reacting, perfect. All right, and we'll come back and we'll fix the physics later. So all I gotta do now is just basically like duplicate this, right? I'm sorry, don't duplicate it in edit mode like I just did. Just take this, duplicate it, and then Shift R will repeat your last action. You take these, duplicate them, and I think this should work. Now, in order to get it to be like perfect, what you're gonna wanna do is probably get like an object under it that allows these pieces to fit on each other. And also, I forgot to mention, this is my fault, these also all need collision as well. So collision, 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 collision. Now you can copy the physics to each one, but I'm just gonna do it manually. Collision, collision, and collision. Okay, it should work now. There they go. Now, it's not gonna be perfect, but this is like more or less how I would do it. The reason it doesn't look perfect is because they might be using collision on this. Let me try it. Collision. Let me also convert this to a mesh and then do collision. I'm curious now if I was to add all these, hold on, and put, this is going to be a tough one because I don't know if this is going to work or not. So now they might just go exploding and flying everywhere. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't work. All right, let me just check. This should have collision. Physics, and then the thickness outer, let's try like a really low value. Just want to see. Nah, it won't work. Okay, that's okay. Let's try this though. Instead of giving collision to that, let me give collision to the frame. Let me convert it to a mesh first, and let me do a remesh on this. And what you can do if you want to is you can just like hide this, create the physics mesh underneath, and then you can kind of like, I don't know, fake it if you will. All right, let me see. All right, now let's go ahead and add collision to this. I'm curious if this will work. It doesn't work. Why? Oh, it might be the normals. Hold on, wait, let me think about this. Collision, override normals. Let me see if that works. It works a little bit, but now they kind of get stuck in there. So more or less, this is how I would do it. This is obviously not perfect, and the reason it's not perfect because I don't have hours to experiment with it, but you can kind of get the general sense of like how this might be done. Half of it is like an optical illusion, if you will. Half of it is trying to figure out how to make these things look half normal. Now, there's another part of it where you probably can't like simulate this really with physics, but you can simulate part of it with physics. Part of it is like you have a box that's actually like pushing on something. Is this our box that's supposed to be pushing on these things? Yeah, it is. Hold on. Let me just see something. This really should be here. There you go. Now they're getting pushed out. Does everybody kind of see how that works? The reason it's not perfect is, again, there's a lot of experimentation that comes with this stuff. But yeah, making the simulation right is the hardest part. But you can kind of see how this might work. Like you can kind of see, if you look, this is kind of how you would make this work, more or less. What I would probably also do is I would probably like mess with the physics just a little bit more. Let me just see what these physics are looking like. Now, if you wanted it to have like no thing containing it, it would just look like this, right? Make sense? So simple, but not simple, right? Like this is like one of those things that's like always going to be easier said than done. Because rigid body physics is one thing, but then you have like soft body physics, which is a totally different thing. You could also have like self-collision physics with like a cloth. I wouldn't suggest doing it like that. Also, there's really not a lot of like topology here. You could probably even like subdivide this again, but I probably wouldn't. I would, if anything, I would remesh this and then just let it kind of calculate with Blender. This gives you like a rough idea of like how it would work though. And also, it's really supposed to look like this, right? Kind of. I mean, this is really, really basic, right? This is not perfect, but this is how I would approach this problem, and then I would probably keep like experimenting from here. Obviously, as you can tell, it's not even close to perfect, but this is sort of how I would like approach this problem. Another thing you could potentially do is like, you could mess around with force fields. You could just think, I'm thinking this through because like, if I had to make this for a client, I'm not sure what I would do. Like, I'm not really sure the approach I would take. There is one more thing you could do, because if you look, like there's a lot of like collisions in here that shouldn't be here. Each one of these should probably have like a thickness of 0.1 or maybe even like 0.5. I don't know, that's pretty generous. That's pretty crazy. Let me see. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. So I'm tempted to even say like, right, if we select all these and then select this one last, we can go to object. We can go to physics, or where is it not? Oh no, there's no rigid body. You just do thickness outer would be 0.5 on each one. I'll just copy it over to each one real quick, and we can see how it would look. And then I'll look at the comments, because I think I saw someone just dropped a comment. Thickness outer, thickness outer, thickness outer, and thickness outer. All right, let's try it now. Okay, a little bit better. Again, like when it comes down to like physics settings, now you can see, okay, they're not as bunched up now, right? And this is actually kind of like getting us closer to that result that we're looking for, which is pretty cool, right? Is it possible with geometry nodes? Yes, probably, but like physics with geometry nodes is a lot more complex, and I don't fully understand it to the point where I could teach you guys. Geonodes, yeah. So like, if you were to do something like this in geometry nodes, I don't know where you would start with that, because there's like real physics going on here for like these things to fall, right? So like if we play this back again, like this thing gets pushed through, right? Honestly, a lot of this is probably like complex physics calculations. This is not far off from like how this could look though. Like it really isn't. In fact, I just realized there's another way you could do it, but it's not, it wouldn't be like necessarily like this. Let me just see something real quick. I kind of want to see now if I was to make this have a collision again. I just want to see. Oh, look. Here we go. They're getting stuck on this, but hold on. They're getting stuck on this, and the reason they're getting stuck on this is because it's too close. So let me do this. Let me just see what that would look like. Better though. They're getting stuck on the outer side of it too. But it's definitely better than it was before. You can kind of see they're getting a little more contained here. And you know what? Let me get rid of this override normals. That doesn't make sense. Why are you getting stuck, bro? He's like, this thing in the 3D program can't think for itself. It's probably wondering why I'm yelling at it. This looks fantastic. It's pretty much identical. So yeah, if you wanted to do something like this in geometry nodes, oh man, that would be interesting. Like I said, I really don't know where you would start just because like the physics are so much different. Can I do auto smooth? Yeah. There you go. Already looks better with the auto smooth, of course, but oh man. Yeah, let's do this. Here's what we'll do. Just to make it smooth for a second. Let's get rid of the collision here. Okay. And oh, I know what I could do. I could put a small force field in the center that kind of keeps them clumped until they pass through that area. But you know what? Let me go to my rigid body world. Let me go to my cache, and let me go to 48 for my final frame, and just click bake, just so we can get a smooth physics simulation here, okay? Whoa, bro, why you... What the heck? I did not ask it to bake that far, but there you go. All right. I have an idea of how we can... I do have an idea of how we could kind of keep these like generally clumped together. I could do a force field right here, right? Whoa, what the heck? Oh, my proportional editing is on. I could do a force field here, and what I could just do is like a negative 100, and let's just see what happens. Oh, not what we wanted to happen. Let's do negative 10. Oh, let's go back. A little better though. So here's the interesting part. This is where we can do like a fall off, because this might actually work. The shape of the fall off doesn't matter, but we want to do a... I'll do a plane, and I'm going to rotate this. Hold on. We're going to rotate this 90 degrees. See how now they're kind of like colliding on this plane? Now we do a max distance, and this is where the fall off is. So let's see if this works. So this little mini sphere in here is where the fall off is. So it shouldn't occur beyond that. So see how we can kind of keep them a little bit more clumped together? Now let's try a line instead. It should be better, a little bit better. Negative. Okay, hold on. Let's try point. I'm trying things here, guys. A little bit better. A little bit better. See how like they're a little more like, just a little more clumped together? You can kind of get like over time, like you could probably refine this really nicely. And you would want real physics with like real collision boundaries, and you would have to like really, really refine the amounts, but it is definitely possible. It's just the pain to do. But that is overall how I would like approach an effect like that, just because I think that's probably how they did it. I didn't watch the tutorial on purpose. The reason I didn't watch the tutorial is because I like the process of like trying to reverse engineer something. I just think it's fun in general, so... Yeah, so Blender physics is pretty clunky, but there are certain add-ons like flip fluids and things like that that definitely make it like worth it, I would say. And overall, you can get a pretty good result. It just takes a while to like get that result because a lot of it depends on the size of the objects that you're using, the metrics, the collision boundaries, and the collision margins, the type of like rigid body that you're using, the type of gravity, the speed of the simulation. There's a lot of factors that go into simulating something, whereas maybe in other programs that are built for simulations, it might be easier, right? But overall, I've gotten some pretty cool results with the physics before. It really just depends on like what you're trying to simulate and what you're trying to show a client or demonstrate yourself. Is this type of simulation easier in Houdini? I don't have any idea about Houdini. I've never used Houdini, but I mean, I've heard good things. I have nothing against any other programs that you guys want to use. Obviously, I love Blender because it's free and it's open source and we can all use it very easily. There's no like barrier to entry for most people, and millions of people use it every day, which is fantastic. But in terms of like a simulation like this, like there's other ways you can approach this simulation. Like I'm just gonna show you guys one more way you can approach like a similar type of situation. So if you have a plane here, excuse me, if you have a plane, I'll just subdivide it a couple times, give it some geometry. You can basically take like a, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can take a plane and turn it into like, basically like a curve rope type of thing. Oh man, I'm trying to remember how I did this before. Let's just try a path. I just want to see if I can do this. Yeah, okay, here it is. So you can make a path into a soft body. So if I made this into a soft body and I press play, it's going to float. If we uncheck goal, though, and we add a cube, for example, with a collision, now, so see how it kind of gets involved here? Let's go ahead and subdivide this. See what we're seeing now? Now it's just a matter of figuring out, okay, why is the edge looking weird here, right? So the way that we figure that out is we go into simulation. Where is it? Hold on. Where the heck is it? Bruh. We do want self-collision. We'll come back to that. Why am I getting a weird thing here? Hold that thought, guys, because I got to find the setting. Where is it? It's not in here, I don't think. Let me add a soft body again with no goal. Edges are right here. Oh. Oh, here it is. All right, let me try this now. Oh, I'm stupid. It's the collision on this guy. Thickness outer. Let's try 0.1. It's the collision on the cube, I'm pretty sure. That's better. All right, a little bit better. Also, I'm going to give this a subdivision to give it a little bit more geometry. That's a little bit better. And then, you know what? Let's go ahead and up the damping. Let's click on this guy, and let's give it some geometry. All right, okay, here we go. Cool. All right, now we actually like have something cool here. All right, so now for the cache, whatever, friction. Let me see here. Let me just go to like 40. I just want it to play over and over again. I'm not sure why it's being weird with the edges here. Hold on, let me just see something. It's a little bit better. It's acting a little funky, but you get the idea. Anyway, the reason I wanted to show you guys this is because it's a lot easier to like simulate physics like this. So we could redo the other animation that we had, and then instead of having like cubes, we could have something like this, right? But what we could do is for the profile, where's the profile? For the profile, we could do like a square profile, just an example, right? Like, where's the, there we go. Like for the extrusion, right? We could have something like this. This is an example. No, hold on. I would want a taper, or I would want, you know what? We'll just do it. We'll just add a curve, and we'll just add a curve profile. we'll do a rectangle. Cool. And then we'll go here and we'll add that profile. Or object profile. There we go. And there we go. And then we go back to our rectangle. I'll just scale it to make it look a little more square. Scale it down. And then we'll shade this flat. And now you have this like noodle thing that we were dealing with before, right? That's a lot easier to like animate. So you could like also approach it like that, right? And then when you drop these things on like a conveyor belt, it's a little bit easier, right? Hey, Cookie, what time is it there? It is 3:28 p.m. That's cool now. And then I believe, so this is the fun part, right? So now it's like we can go in here and we can like duplicate this, right? Rotate it. Let's just watch what happens. Whoa. Look at it tumbling. Whoa. Oh, I don't have collision on this. Whoopsies. There we go. How cool is that? Right? Now you have these like noodle things, right? And then if you want them to go faster, you can go here in segments. You can do, crap, how do you unsubdivide? I guess you can't really. Nah, I guess you can't, but that's okay. But either way, you should, can we unsubdivide? I guess we can't. I think in the simulation, there should be a way to, well, you can increase the speed, but usually you can also decide how many steps. Oh, here it is. Let's just do 2 steps per frame or whatever. Now it's really, really basic, right? You see it's going all over the place. He said this approach looks better. Yeah, this could be another approach. We can try this approach. Sure. Let's try it. I'm just going to name this something really easy to remember. And then, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just do this. And what we're going to do is we'll have to push these guys out. So like, let's just say like this was one of the segments, right? And then we have like, I don't know, 9 of them. 1, 2. We'll just do this. 1, 2. So now when we press play, they should all fall on each other. Perfect. Nice. All right, looks a lot better, right? All right, it looks really good. So it's 1 a.m. in India, and they love to watch. Yeah, thank you. Or you love to watch you. Sorry. I just love to watch you struggle. Oh, you were the guy that was hating the last time. Hold on, I remember you. You're the troll, aren't you? Aren't you the troll from the last video? I remember you. Well, this was like 3 videos ago. You love to watch me struggle. Oh my gosh. You know, it's funny. It is a struggle. It is very much a struggle because a lot of the time I have no idea what I'm doing. Most of the time, at least. He said, haha. All right, so what we need to do is we need to push these out. So let's do this. This is a collision. Let's just duplicate this. Let's bring these right here. And you know what? We are going to animate this guy. We're going to push these off. I just want to see if this works. It does work. Okay, maybe this was the better approach then. Now, the only thing is we got to be careful, though, because we're a little close here. So let me bring this guy back. Why is the bottom not doing anything? Collision, thickness outer. Let's try 0.2. Hold up. Self-collision, stiffness, yup. Where's the regular collision? Edges, yup. Let me see this. That's weird. Oh, it's because my step size is so low. Hold on, let me try 6. Let's try that. A little bit better. We're getting a... Okay, let's try this. Oh. Let's try 0.5. And you know what? Let's make the bending a little bit less. Let's make it like 0.3. 0.8 was better. And for the bending, let's try 0.8 as well. Let's just see what we get. Why are we getting such a weird result? What the heck? Hold up. Let me unextrude that. Not sure what happened there. Interesting. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Any info about real-time denoising they were talking about? Nah, I don't have any info on that yet. Yeah, no. Sorry. He said he's also from India. Okay, let me just try something here. What the heck is happening with that? Why is it doing that? I'm tempted to say uncheck this. Hold on. Why is it bouncing, bro? Hold on. I don't know why it's doing that. I really don't. Let me just do this. Okay. Maybe it was just because it was a plane. It still is weird that it's not like, why aren't they? They should be acting like separate objects, and I'm not sure why they're not. Hold on. Let me do this. Just want to see what that does. Okay. It's better, though. It's better than it was before. He said, where are you from? I'm from Delhi, brother. Delhi. That's what we call a place that you get a sandwich here. We call it the deli. You know what? Let me do this actually, because I'm curious like why this isn't working properly. I'm gonna give these just a little bit of offset because I want to see. I want them to interact like independently. I don't know why they're not. All right, I have an idea. I'm gonna delete everything but one because I just want to see this one like perform properly. I think it's too subdivided. Yeah, I think so. Let's do this. I don't know why it's getting stuck on things. It might just be because this isn't like perfectly like round. Like I really don't know. I just want to see. Self-collision. I just want to see something. If I have self-collision unchecked. Nope, we need self-collision. I don't know why it's acting so weird. Bro. Oh, I have the damping up really high on this and this. And this. That was why. That was why it was acting so weird. And then I want bending to be 0.5. So that was that why. If that was why, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad, yo. Oh my God, that was why the whole time. Bruh. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm a little bit mad because now that's frustrating that was what was causing it. Okay, doesn't matter because guess what? Now we can actually do what we were trying to do. Okay, so is that guy, please tell me that guy's still here that originally requested this because now we can actually do this. All right, if this works, I'll be happy. Cool. Okay, it works. Now the reason they all pop apart is because the size over here needs to be like smaller, like 0.7. Boom, there it is. Except for they're still acting as a unified group. Because why? Okay, that's a little bit better. Now I wonder if I do this. I'm just curious. It's like there needs to be some randomness in there. How do I get some randomness? You know what? I'll add some turbulence. Let's add like a little bit of turbulence in here. Let's make it like 10. Because I just want to see this. Oh, that's too much turbulence. Let's do 1. Still too much turbulence. I mean, we're talking, you know what? Might be able to do like 0.2. Better though. Better, right? Okay, so now let's see. Now I'm wondering if I take these, right, and then I duplicate them. Now I want to see if they all act independent still. They do. Okay, better. Now we can go in here and do 0.7. This is like the distance between them. Better, 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 better. And then for the bending, we can keep that there. Why is it so like, I want the dampening to be like 1. Yeah, there we go. No, that's too much. So, but if they're not too dampened, then they go flying all over the darn place. Oopsies. Better. Okay. I feel like we got somewhere good with this. So now, okay, we're to a point where everything's looking good, right? We kind of got our shapes the way we want them, right? I feel like if this works here, I'll be happy. Good. Okay, it does work. So now we just need to adjust the size of this. Just try 0.5. All right, ready? Let's go. Okay, that was what I wanted. Now, the reason they're flopping all over the place is probably because this damping can be, I don't know, 0.4, 0.3. Let's try 0.3. That's too much. So damping basically just like takes the energy out of something. Let's try 0.02. Like something really, really low. Because we don't want to take all the energy out of it. That's better. That's better. Is that guy still here that was asking for this? Because I think this is a lot better. And this would probably be like, this might be like the general approach to how to do this now. That's it. That's what you do. And then, yeah, so now I'm thinking, okay, so now that we got this figured out, my question is, can we then take this, right? Tab into edit mode. I just want to see something now. Because I want to see, and this is going to be really, really like rudimentary, but I just want to see if this works. If we take this and just make like some boundaries here. I'm wondering if it'll like stay within those boundaries or not. A little bit, a little bit. It did stay within the boundaries a little bit. Now the question is, can I make this a little bit more? Better. Now let's go ahead and adjust the bending. I only want it to bend this much. Better, even better. And I only want it to do 0.3, 0.3. Even better. Everybody's seeing like we're refining it. Now I'm wondering, okay. Now I'm wondering, can I... Let's see, dampening, yup. Much better. Much, much better. Okay, so now I'm like thinking, okay, take this, right? take this guy, which is just like whatever. Now I'm wondering if I take this, I make it like, I'm just trying something here. I just want to see if it honors the collisions. It does a little bit. I just want to see now. It does kind of honor the collisions, but it's pretty sketch, right? Because it's getting caught up on this piece here. So let me do this. 0.1. Much better though, right? What do you guys think? These. All right, I'm ready to try this again. Here we go. All right, we're so close. 0.7 might do it. Oh my gosh, we're so close. All right, 0.65, and then that's gotta be it. Whew. So darn close. What do you guys think? I mean, I think that's pretty darn solid. I am pretty darn happy with that. It's obviously getting a little glitched out on the edges, but that's okay because like now we actually have something that's like, this is actually pretty good. Like I'm pretty happy with the way that this is working, right? Yeah, this looks awesome. Let's try 0.6 because it was working fine at 0.6. And then for the bending, we'll just make sure it doesn't bend at all. Well, not at all, but just like less than it would normally. And then no push or pull. I just want to see what that looks like. Nope. Now I kind of want to see 1-1 what happens there. You know what? Let's try it. 0.5 and 0.5. Keep it simple. Sometimes the default settings are pretty nice. I want this to go slower. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to cache. 60 and bake. Let's unbake it. And I want this. Actually, I just want these to start like right here. And I want to click bake. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. Hold up, we gotta rebake again. This is what I was looking for though. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. The reason it's getting caught though is because this right here needs to be stretched like that. All right, I bet you anything it doesn't get caught now. There it is. Now, all we got to do got to rebake. And I think, guys, I think we're going to be golden. Or at least close to it. Close. I'm pretty happy with the fact that we got that close though. Okay, next idea, guys. Let's get the next idea rolling. I'm done with that idea. I'm pretty happy with like where we got to. Let's not. Oh crap! I didn't save it. That's okay. Well, we can always make it again if we need to. So this is the one this was the one we did in the last part of it, right? And it looks pretty good. Guys, go ahead and drop your comment down below. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you guys want to see. While you guys are waiting, I have something amazing to show you. We have cgcookie.com/p/core. This is our core fundamentals of Blender. If you guys are really looking to get into something, this is absolutely the place to start, especially if you're new to Blender. So I just wanted to shout that out real quick. I'm one of our instructors there. Again, this is the core fundamentals of Blender. And this is not only the... Sorry, let me restart. This is not the only thing that we have, right? On cgcookie.com, there are plenty of amazing courses. Amazing courses, especially on geometry nodes. There's one specific one that I want to shout out. Geometry nodes. Search. this one right here is amazing. Let's see. Ooh, this one's awesome. Bee City is fantastic. And then this is actually a newer one. Ooh, man, this is nice. I haven't taken this one yet, but I have heard fantastic things about it. Wow, look at that. Again, all geometry nodes. Incredible, incredible. Whew, amazing. Great work, thank you. Play around with the closure to list node. Closure to list? I don't think I've heard of that one. Closure to list. Closure to list node. I don't think I've heard of that one. I'll check it out real quick though. Yeah, I don't know what this one does. What does it do? Something organic like a rotting apple or a banana? Interesting. That could be interesting. Rotting, you know what? I know what I'll go over. I'm sorry. Also, I promise I'll look into that closure to list node, but I don't know much about it. Here's what I will show you guys though. I am going to show you how to create something really cool with the Ray portal node. This was something I was messing around with recently. So let's go ahead and go over what it is, what it does. All right, so we have a basic scene here. I'm just going to get some basic lighting on here real quick. I'm going to give this guy like a blue shader of some sort. So I'm going to talk about the Ray portal node. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it works. So right now, if you click on this plane and add this in, you can do this, watch. Ray portal, BSDF, you click on here. Now, what it does is it basically is like another view of what you're already seeing. But what's really cool is you can kind of like create some really cool stuff with it. And I'll show you what I mean. We're going to go ahead and click on object. Actually, we're going to do object info. That's it, I think. Yeah, we're going to do object info. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plug the location into the position here. No, I'm sorry, not our texture coordinate. I'm sorry, texture coordinate. We're going to plug in the generated to the position, or the actually normal into the position, I believe. No, not normal. Was it object? Oh, I'm trying to remember what I did last time. Yeah, it was object. Okay, so we're going to plug in the object coordinates to the position, and then watch this. This is where it gets really interesting. And let me do, where is it? Is it distance? No, it was position. See if I remember how to do it from last time. Yes, okay, and then we need to plug in I believe it's a vector scale. Yeah, vector scale. Yes, there it is. Okay, so I was messing around with this the other day, and I thought this was really cool. So basically, we have this kind of like Ray portal, and when we look through it, we can like modify what it is that we're seeing, right? So you see right now, I made this into a Voronoi texture. So if I wanted to like make it look pixelated, I could do that, right? So now anywhere where I put this, it's gonna look pixelated, which is really cool. Let me just bring this up a little bit. How stinking cool is that? Is everybody seeing this? I hope you guys are seeing this. How cool is that? There's a lot of possibilities with this node. Now I haven't messed around with it too much. I was messing around with it yesterday a little bit, but let me just show you guys. If you were to take this, put it right here, again, like it's almost like a real-time filter. It's almost like a compositing sort of trick, but it's really not because you're like using the light rays that are coming through the portal. But I just thought this was so cool. How cool is that, right? And then you can scale this up. You can kind of mess around. And now we kind of have this like modified version of our like Suzanne model, but with the Ray portal. Pretty darn cool, right? I think this is a cool trick. I was messing around with this. I was thinking about making like a painterly shader or something cool like that with it, because you can kind of adjust the randomness here. Again, you can scale this up and down. So if you want it to be like a little bit offset, you can do that. It's really cool. You can also like tint the filter, right? So you can kind of see a little bit better here, right? Which is cool. I don't really see the use for that as much. Like I almost wish it was like a masked version of this, but pretty darn cool. There's a lot of interesting things that you can do with this. A lot of interesting things. You can also offset this. So you can go texture, or not texture coordinate, mapping, right? Watch this. This is the crazy part. You can adjust the location. So if I want this to be like offset, I can do that. I can make this seem like it's like in a completely different part, right? Which is really cool. It's quite cool. You can get some trippy effects, but this is the main effect I was going for, is this kind of like stylized version, right? It's almost like glass. Like it almost makes it look like that like weird glass. But again, there's so much you can do here, right? Because you can adjust the scale. You can really like warp this thing like that. Now it kind of has this like warped version. I thought that was really cool, right? Super awesome, right? All right, next thing we're going to do here. I am going to get some water. You guys are going to drop your comments down below on what you want to see. Oh, it's in a daily build. Oh, okay. Make something in geometry nodes. We can absolutely make something in geometry nodes. Absolutely, my friend. Let me just show you guys that. How cool is that? It's like, again, it's like a pixelated version of what you're seeing. It's pretty darn cool, right? Let me see this. I haven't tried. Let me try the other methods with this. Oh, very cool. F2. That's a cool one. Okay, I haven't seen that one before. Whoa! Oh! Suzanne, are you okay? Are you okay? Suzanne, what's wrong? Suzanne, what's wrong? You've barely touched your meal. Oh my goodness. Are you okay? That's hysterical. The cursed glass. This is what kind of like what it looks like. I don't see anything there. Tell you what, though, that is some cool stuff. Let's see, randomness. The randomness is high with this one. That is crazy. I didn't realize you could do that. Because it's like kind of bending the light rays. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a drink of water. Give me like a minute and a half here. And when I come back, I would love to see your suggestions. And we can go over some really cool Blender stuff. I'll be right back. Stay tuned until I get back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty, guys. I have 10 more minutes to live stream. Kenny, what are some of your personal favorite Blender or other projects that I've made? Oh, that's a great question. Oh man, there's so many. There's so many. You know what? That's a great way to spend the last 10 minutes. Let's just do like a quick share out type of thing here. Oh, also, if you wanted to see these nodes, sorry, there they are right there. There's your cursed glass. Poor Suzanne. She didn't deserve this, but you know, here she is. Wild. It's just like there's so many things I can think about to do with this. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some other stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of projects that I've worked on over the years. Many client projects. Let me take a look. Let's see. This was a cool one. I don't have the best like organization here with some of this stuff. Let's see. Oh, this is the aerodynamic one that I made. That was pretty cool. Let me just find one that's like noteworthy, if you will. Gosh, there's so many. I've worked on so many different projects over the years. A lot of them haven't even seen the light of day. Like a lot of them haven't been published or they haven't been shared or what have you. This what? Oh, which one was this one? Oh, this was like, man, this one is really old project. I kind of like, I have a lot of storage on here with just like random things. I don't even know if this one still looks good, to be honest with you. I haven't looked. Is this? Oh yeah, this was like a you know, there was actually a really cool shader trick that I used in this one to kind of get this like this kind of like fake thread look, which was pretty cool. Guess if you can, or see if you can guess how this was made, and then I'll show you. But this one was pretty simple. Yeah, this one was pretty simple. This one was pretty cool too. All right, let me just see here. Where's another one? And that was just like a fun project. That wasn't anything like, that wasn't a client project. That was just for fun. Okay, there's there's a shoe model that I showed earlier that was pretty cool. There's a bunch of shaders. I mean, there's so many shaders that I've made. Some of this stuff is just like really random though. He said hi. Oh, hi. Hi, how are you? Where do I even begin? Oh my god, there's so many. A lot. I'm almost curious like what my oldest project was. Oh, there's the end of that. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the good stuff. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is like, okay, so this was a model that I made. This was one of my favorite projects just because it was such a pain to do, and there were so many like little things about this model that I had to get looking half decent, you know. Let's see if the rendered view looks good. Yeah, it does. Okay, so like a lot of these materials are procedural as well. Now this is a camera. You can kind of see like the different angles of it here. Man, this thing was a pain to model, but it ended up looking pretty darn good. At least I thought. There was a lot of like little gimmicks and tricks to get this model correct. I would say this was one of my favorite projects. That was a fun one. Oh, this was a cool one too. This was a so this one right here was a watch that I made. We actually I think I made this on a live stream once, and it is a watch I actually own that I really don't use. In fact, I think it's broken, but I took some reference pictures of it. We modeled it, and it ended up looking pretty cool. And then we put it in this cool scene with some rocks like flying around. Parent curves twisted together in many instances of them with random position offsets. That's my guess. Actually, believe it or not, no. It's actually, well, kind of for the geometry of it, but it's actually a little simpler than even that. That's one way you could do it, though. There's definitely one way you could do it. Oh yeah. So this one was cool. This was a boot model that I made with you guys on a live stream once. Not perfect by any means. You can see, actually, it's funny. You can kind of see like this gap right here. From a certain angle, though, it looks good. I actually don't know. Is this one textured? Oh, it is textured. Yeah, so we textured that. We modeled this and we textured this in Blender, obviously. And it's all procedural. And there, I don't think there's any geometry nodes in here, but there's some like fun shader tricks that we used. A lot of this stuff is like just basic like modeling. Like it's really not that crazy. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of reverse engineering. This was a fun project. I'll just keep going through some more if you guys are having fun looking at these. Oh, and then we took that boot and we put it in this scene here. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to click that. we put it in this scene here, and we kind of made this like fun little render out of it. Nothing crazy, just like a little couple rocks and some plants. Actually, the plants were geometry nodes. We instanced those. They were photo scanned ones, and they just kind of like, we threw them in there to create this interesting environment. It's a fun project. A lot of this stuff comes down to like lighting too. Like, can you make the model look like the model looks great, but like, can you texture it and light it properly, you know? So that was another fun one. Let's see. Oh, this was another shoe model we made. This was a gun that we modeled. That's pretty cool. Oh, a Yeti. This one was fun. This is a fun one. I mean, there's so many. I love all the projects equally, you know what I mean? Like, so this was like a little render of a Yeti we made. I mean, this was, we never really like fully finished this one, I don't think, because I was a little upset with like part of the model, but there's another cool one, just like a fun like little product render. What are my PC specs? I have a GeForce 3070 Ti, RTX 3070 Ti, and then I have an Intel i9 with like an Asus motherboard, 128 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte solid state hard drive, and a 10 watt, I think it's a 10 watt power supply. It's just like a basic case. It's really nothing crazy. I actually built this computer a very long time ago. Probably 3 years ago, actually. Oh, this was another fun one. We made this kind of like guitar thing here. This was fun. Yeah, this computer, I actually have a even better computer now with a 5090 in it, but it's a laptop. It's not anything like this. Like, oh, this was some a car modeling practice that I did. This is a fun one. Not perfect. In fact, not even close, but you can kind of see this was my attempt at a McLaren. Cars are really hard to model too. Like, I think this is one of the biggest challenges was when I started getting into these car models. Man, they're tough. They are really tough. What else do we have in here? Yeah, there were some fun ones. Oh, this is a cool one. I didn't model this shoe. I'll just be upfront with you about that. This was modeled by Kent Trammell, who works with CG Cookie. And he gave me the model so that I could just like mess around with it. So we made this little render with like geometry node. There's some geometry nodes mixed in here. This is a heavy scene here. But basically there's like these bolts flying everywhere in the scene. There's some strong like depth of field. I don't know why it's not loading. Render kernels may take a few minutes the first time. We don't have time for that. Excuse me. I'm drinking a seltzer and it's very bubbly. Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, terrain generator. Whoa, no, don't freeze on me now. Oh my gosh, this thing is bright. There we go, that's a little bit better. Looks like it's gonna freeze on me. Okay. We're gonna try again. We do have to kind of start winding down the stream. This has been a fun one, but we're gonna start winding it down soon. Where's it? There it is. This is a terrain generator. This was all geometry nodes. You guys were asking about geometry nodes. This is all geo nodes right here. Now this, I don't know what it looks like in render view. Let's see. Oh, we never really got to be messing around with like the actual shader, but yeah, this was a cool one here. Any space renders? No, I actually don't, but that could be something cool to create in the future. Oh, here we go. Oh, this one was cool. I don't know if the materials will still be on this or not. Yeah, this was a fun one. So this one was like a let me just hide this stuff. This one was like a fan render for Minecraft. And I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly how I created it, but I did obviously make it in Blender. It's got like a really nice like depth of field to it. This is a fun one. And this was like totally just like, I don't even remember what I was doing, why I was doing it. I just like was having fun. Like this was just like a little fun, like extreme depth of field. Like, I don't know, here, let's see if we can break out of the camera here. Yeah, like, I mean, this was not really anything crazy. I forgot. This was a cool render. I actually really liked this one. This was a fun one. Not associated or sponsored by Minecraft in any way, or Mojang. Just for fun. Fun fan art render. I will go over a couple more, and then we're going to wrap this thing up because I got to go. This one was cool too. Oh man, this one was, I actually made this into a product eventually. Like it's like a fur kind of like render. So a lot of the stuff I used to make was like super like crazy abstract like this. Like I have no idea what I was even thinking here, but this one was like really fun. Yeah, it's just like some fur with some turbulence, like on a Taurus with some tubes, some you know, metallic tubes running through the middle just for fun. Just something I thought looked interesting. I like creating things that are just like fun to look at, you know, like they're like visually interesting. They kind of like captivate your attention, make you think. A lot of the times, most of the stuff that looks cool is because of like the lighting that is used. Like right now, like the lighting used here, I think, is what makes this look cool. I'll show you one more example, like very similar to that example. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. So let's take a look at this one. This one's crazy too. Again, you kind of look and I'll show you. This will take a second. There it goes. So this one is also awesome too. You can kind of see like the lighting is kind of like from behind this object, right? But it looks so cool, right? Like, and there's really nothing crazy like going on here, right? But it looks awesome. Wow. Well, guys, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. I hope you guys had fun. I really, really do. I do have to get going here, but I want to thank everybody for coming out to today's live stream. Please don't forget to check out cgcookie.com/core. Go ahead and upload that right now for you guys. Please, please, please check that out. That is our core fundamentals of Blender for those that are beginners, or even if you're advanced, you can still join and check all that info out, because guess what? You're going to learn a lot. I promise you that. And I teach our physics course so you can learn all about the fundamentals of physics in Blender 3D. Thank you guys so much. Keep on blending, and we'll